Hi, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
Together, the three of us, includes you, we are Mark Woodman's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again, and I am smoking some RLP6, soon to be smoking in a dwarf. This is the smallest of the Cobbett pipes.
So that's what? Sneezy?
Yes.
And I am smoking the rest of this 1776.
I'm going to sneeze. Thank you for putting that in my mind.
You're welcome. From Missouri Mirror Sun. Because this stuff is good.
So I got to tell you a funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but I got to tell you a story.
Great.
I've had a couple conversations with the president of the company that I work for.
Okay.
I really like this guy. He is an engineer. He grew up on a farm, so he's got some... I don't want to necessarily
Farm
say...
smarts?
It's farm smarts. I don't want to say instinctive common sense, but the dude has got common sense and a great mechanical aptitude. He's a really fun guy to talk to because he's very intelligent and smart on top of that. So I really like him. He's got some woodworking experience as well, manufacturing experience out the wazoo. And he was talking to me over the course of a couple months that at his new home he was going to be putting in some new oak treads. So he's got, I saw that.
Trying to light my face on
I saw
fire.
that. That was really something. Do it again. It's good to have a lawsuit. We could have it recorded. He's got a new home, and I don't know what his staircase looks like to start, but he ordered some stair treads that were basically a veneer that were going to cap everything you see, including 2 landings that he has.
Okay.
And we were talking about tools, and he wanted to know what tools I would recommend for the kind of work he had to do on it, which is basically just making kind of sort of square cuts.
Okay.
Nothing's ever square on a house, and so if you want it to look good, it's never exactly square. And I told him I love my chop saw. I have a Bosch dual glide. This thing is cool. I have also an old Hitachi compound sliding saw that I like a lot, but it has some limitations to it. And so I purchased this dual glide saw. I purchased it on the Bosch anti-gravity stand, which is really cool if you ever need to move the saw around. It collapses and then rolls around like a two-wheel cart. And then when you need it, it snaps up into place very, very easily. It goes in and out of my van super, super easy. I have on that saw a $200 saw blade. Now, by comparison, see the saw blades back there on the wall?
Yes.
Those are for the Hitachi saw.
Cheap.
Probably $20 a piece. I mean,
Yeah.
those aren't great saw blades. No, there's a $40 one back there as well. Now, I spent $200 on the saw blade because I wanted the saw to be the bee's knees.
Okay.
No chance I'm ever going to loan this saw, but I was telling him, if you're looking to buy a saw, I can highly recommend that saw. Well, as time has gone by, and the more we've talked about this, and then he ended up ordering the package from the company that was making all these treads for him. He and I both realized he'll never use that saw again.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense for him to own a saw like I have, and to buy the saw that he could justify is not going to give him the quality of cut. So I finally said...
He needs the Harbor Freight Special.
Yeah. I finally said, why don't you borrow my saw? Okay?
What?
I volunteered it. Why don't you borrow my saw? I can't believe it because I really love this thing, and so much so I have notes on there for my son-in-law not to cut certain things, you know, because I have the Hitachi saw. If he's going to cut something and potentially ruin it, use that saw, right? But I offered to loan him the saw.
This one's the one you use for bologna. Is that right? This is the bologna saw?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Christmas hams and things? No?
No, it's a more different saw than that.
Pretty sure it's the one I've used.
I'll put a link to the dual glide saw. This thing is really awesome.
Really thin
really
slices
awesome.
of ham.
So I load this thing into my van. I take it to work with me. He brings his SUV with him to work. And then we meet up in the parking lot and go to do the exchange, which he wasn't giving me anything. How was that an exchange? Anyway, we go to load this thing into his car after I do a demo of how to adjust the height on the stand and all that. It was that much too tall for his car. There was no way, even with this thing locked down in its lowest position, no way it was going to fit in. But you know what? 2 buttons, 2 little cams, and you can lift the saw right off the stand. So we took it off the stand. He could then put both parts into his car. But he said, you know what? I have a Black & Decker Workmate. I'll put it on the Workmate. I don't need the stand. Well, the stand has these telescopic supports to help hold whatever length you need, and they've got stops built into that and all that. Perfect height. Okay, whatever. You're going to use your Black & Decker Workmate. Not a problem. I'm not here to judge you.
But it hurt you a little bit that he didn't want your fancy
It did a little bit because I like my fancy stand. He had it. This was Friday. He had it over the weekend. He gives me a call on Monday morning to say, hey, I'm going to be heading for the airport later today, so I need to drop this off at your van. Are you going to be available? And I said, well, I'm not. I'm doing a class right now. He said, well, you know what? It's just a saw. I'll drop it off in your van for you. Is the van unlocked? Yes, the van's unlocked. He goes, oh, and by the way, the part I broke is on order, and I should have it within a week. What? So he drops the saw off. He comes into the learning center where I'm doing training with some new employees, and he explains that he's making a cut with the saw, and because nothing was actually straight, he would check with the gauge what the angle was he needed, float the saw to the angle, lock it down, make the cut. Well, the off-fall, the part that you're not keeping, the scrap piece on one of his cuts, went crazy, flew up, and shattered the side guard, plastic guard on the side of the saw blade. And he said, hey, it was really easy to find. I ordered it. It was only like $8, which is an indicator to anybody who knows tools.
That it breaks a lot.
If it's easy to find, it's only $8. This is something I probably should get 2 of.
All right.
And but here's the thing. He is exactly the kind of guy that I would loan my tools to.
Right.
Because not only did he return it when he said he was going to return it, he took responsibility for something that didn't go right. He's going to make it right, and
without having to be asked.
Without having to be asked. He's the kind of guy I'd loan it to again. Now, I haven't checked to see if the blade is warped yet.
Or covered in bologna.
Or covered in bologna.
Ham. Yeah.
I love that saw. That is such a great saw. Like I said, I'll put a link to it below. The thing is a little bit mind-blowing. My old Hitachi has these long tubes that travel. I guess they're probably solid metal rods that travel in linear bearings. And so you have to have a couple feet behind the saw. Otherwise it hits a wall. So if you're going to put it against a wall, it's always in the way. You got to pull it away from the wall. So like you could never use this in a hallway in construction.
Right.
But the saw that I bought, the dual glide saw, you could put directly against the wall, and it has a greater travel than the Hitachi. It's got a larger blade, so a bigger depth of cut. The thing is really awesome. Yeah. Hitachi was a saw of my dreams back 25, 30 years ago, but this thing is really something.
New technology.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That's cool.
So, you ever loaned anything to anybody that you regretted, or that they followed up and did the right thing? If I loaned a tent to somebody who returned it and just kind of threw it in the garage until it was ruined. Remember that story?
I don't know. I don't recall. I don't remember loaning out a lot. But I don't know that I don't have a lot of things that are prized possessions like your fancy saw that I would be really sad about if I did loan them out. So I don't think so.
Where's a fancy quote, Mr. Quotey McQuoterson?
I don't know. I have
neither a borrower nor a lender be.
Yeah. So when it comes to money,
oh, yeah.
as something being loaned, my wife and I have a no loaning policy. We have a pretty generous giving policy, but a no loaning policy, because we don't want to be in a position where we're lording a debt over someone's head.
And it doesn't matter whether you are or not. That's the way people on the other side start to imagine.
Right. And so, we'll give it to them. Now, we have had people that we have given money to who have given it back to us, and we're okay with that. But there's no expectation there. We make it very clear, hey, look, this is a gift. If you're in need, that's fine. We're happy to help. But especially with family, we don't want to be in a situation where it causes disharmony.
Do I owe you some money or something?
Probably. I you don't know this, but you have lended many things to me without your knowledge. So some things that used to be in this room, I think you've
what are you
lended
talking
to me.
about,
all
Willis?
sorts of things. It's all right. We have our family has a high disappearance of cool things, right? If it's a cool thing that somebody has, there's a good chance someone else will have it soon. It's just how family works.
You got yourself one of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's always dangerous to show off new toys, because you never know when they might be borrowed, loaned.
My dad and mom had that same policy. I remember pretty early on in my marriage needing a little bit of help, I think on a car or something. I forget now exactly what it was. And my parents gave it to us and said, basically, if and when you can pay this back, we'd appreciate it. But if it's going to be a burden on you, don't worry about it.
Right.
And I remember talking to my dad about that, and he said, he had some relationships, I don't know if they were siblings, if they were friends or what, that kind of got ruined with loans.
Right.
And that he would much rather, their policy was, if they weren't willing to give that money to that person, they don't lend it.
Right.
And when they do lend it, they lend it with the idea that I'm never going to see this again.
Right.
It's a gift. If you can pay me back, great. And not big lenders, but like you say, big givers. Every one of us, I have 4 sisters. All of us have been on the receiving end of some wonderful gifts.
Yeah.
And like we've bought a couple cars from them. My parents, they stay much more current in their car purchases because they live in Denver, Colorado, where the roads get hazardous really quickly, and so we've bought a couple of their old minivans from them as they have upgraded. But a car 20 years ago they gave us, and I was prepared to pay for it, but they realized that actually what I was prepared to pay for I really couldn't afford.
Right.
And so they gifted it to us.
Yeah.
And big help. Parents are great, aren't they? Aren't they?
Some can be. Yeah, I think there can be disharmony in that situation on both sides, right? Because you don't want to be the person who has given a gift or has given a loan, and even though it doesn't matter much to you, the person who has borrowed feels a sort of pressure, and then it harms the relationship on that side. Mm-hmm. Or you don't want to be the person who has loaned and are expecting something back quickly, and then the person on the other end, it's not a priority to them, and that's going to hurt the relationship. And so it's better to just not even go down that road.
I loaned some things that I did expect back. I'm talking financially loaned. And not only did it not come back, but then the friends started sort of lording around with, oh man, did you see the new stereo I just put in my car? Did you hear about the vacation we have planned? Yeah, I did hear about that. And it's like, that $700 you so desperately needed 2 months ago to make your bills, as you stood there and cried at my desk, what happened to that?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I gave $700 or something like that.
Nice.
I gifted. I didn't realize I was gifting it.
Well, that's a strange thing about gifts. Sometimes you don't know. Have you seen the remake of DuckTales yet? Did they remake DuckTales? Oh, it looks so good.
Really?
Yeah, it looks so good. The cast they have are just amazing. that you would recognize everybody in the cast.
It's not live action, is it?
No, it's cartoons. It's
So it'll be
cartoon.
the
It is going to be a
3D.
Disney XD, so it's that weird artsy style that kind of looks like it came out of, kind of looks like Ren and Stimpy a little bit. That kind of weird art style that some of their newly released Disney Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck shorts have been.
Oh, okay. Yes. That is interesting. That's weird.
Yeah.
Because we were watching that Mickey Mouse at your house one day. It's like,
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
was this made?
It looks like it's old. It looks
Yeah.
like it's older, but it's brand new.
Yeah.
So similar art style to that, but it's got David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck. He was Doctor Who, so good. It has Danny Pudi, or you would know him as Abed from Community,
Okay.
as one of the triplets. It has who's
Justin Timberlake?
No, it's got Kate
Hudson Winslet?
not Mercurio, from Garfunkel and Oates.
Oh, really?
Yep. It has the guy who does Adult Baby on SNL. He's the pilot. It also has, who's the other guy on SNL? The bigger guy. He was
Horatio Sands?
Not Horatio Sands. The current guy. He was one of the zombies.
Oh, yes. What is his name?
I don't know. It's got Ben Schwartz. He was in Parks and Rec and has been in a bunch of other stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. There's a great video of them singing the theme song, the cast.
You realize the demographics
I
of
know.
Mark Woodman's Breakfast
No.
Club has no idea what we're talking
That's
about?
not true. That's not true because
I've not been looking at our...
That's not true. So my wife and I were talking about this earlier. I'm talking about DuckTales, the TV show that any millennial who's watching, anyone in their 30s,
Sure.
28 to 35, that watches our show knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure they do.
And
people my
those-
age, their kids watched it.
Those are exactly the people who are going to be watching it with their kid, who are going to force their kids to watch it. Allison and I were talking about this.
This was
before we filmed.
This was the greatest show ever, kids.
Yes, kids, I'm going to watch this show, and you should watch it too because it's a cartoon. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're banking on. And in fact, it has been
what's
so
it
well
rated?
received.
What's it rated?
It's a kids cartoon. It's on Disney, the Disney XD. It has been so well received so far that Disney has already renewed it for season 2, and season 1 isn't out yet.
Wow.
It is big on the internet right now.
All right.
It's one of the trending videos.
I hope it's successful for you.
On YouTube.
Just for you.
It will be. It's got David Tennant. How can it fail?
What is the guy's name from SNL?
I
I know
don't
exactly who
I
you're
know,
talking about.
I know, and any other time I could have told you his name.
I know.
It's not Will Sasso either, if you were thinking that.
No. Dang it. And he was funny this last week on SNL.
He's always funny. He's good. Yeah, it's going to be great. All right, that's it. This
Yeah.
is too long. We've gone too long, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, give it a thumbs down. Let us know.
Leave us a comment. What should they comment?
Are you excited about DuckTales? prove them wrong.
No. Just type the word no.
Are you excited about DuckTales? I know you are. If you're excited, thumbs up.
So what happens when the no's outnumber the yeses?
Well, then everyone who said no doesn't have to watch.
Yeah, good point.
Fair?
Okay.
Fair? Okay. And
We'll see you next week.
subscribe if you're not. We'll see you later.